fasten your seatbelts. It's going to be a bumpy ride.
Chrissie is hilarious.
Chrissie, have you ever heard of the comedian Basha K. Ali?
No, that sounds like something you yell at before you blow up a plane.
Basha K. Ali!
30 seconds remaining.
But you know what, good thing to say, I doubt it will stand up to something. I haven't been disrespectful to you at all.
I was very confused by the title, Everything Everywhere All at Once, because that's also what we call it when Ash takes off his shirt. I shouldn't be up here. I should be in school on the other side of the ocean. Oh, welcome to the Chrissie Mayr podcast. What's up, boys and girls? We are on iTunes, YouTube, Spotify, and SoundCloud. So if you're listening to us on iTunes, please leave a 5-star review. Waffle, stop scratching my shit. Hello. All right. I want to do a quick shout out to the sponsor for this episode. Ooh, Cushy Dreams. Love these guys. If you're looking to relax, get you some Cushy Dreams CBD. I can cue the music by myself. I don't need anyone, right? There's music. I want to do music to this. Oh my God, there's a dog licking my foot. This is out of control. Here we go. Wow. I'm going to talk to you guys about Cushy Dreams. They are number one for smokable CBD flower and Delta 8. I haven't even heard of Delta 8, but I'm going to tell you all about it. It helps you with sleep, relaxation, feeling good, and more. Do you know that Cushy Dreams just came out with gummies recently? Look at these bad boys. I kind of want to eat one right now and see what happens during the podcast. I'll probably just feel a lot more relaxed and chill. Check this puppy out. Boom. It smells good. This is watermelon. Okay. These are THC gummies. Delta 9 THC. It's the real deal. OG THC, and it ships legally to you. Each gummy contains 10 milligrams of THC, and they come in 4 euphoric flavors: strawberry, sour watermelon, green apple, and tangerine. Yes, go to cushydreams.com. That's KUSHY dreams.com. You can get the CBD hemp flower, the CBD pre-rolls, the Delta 8, the gummies. The world is your oyster. Go to cushydreams.com. Use promo code CMP to get 20% off your next order. Good on your first order, second order, even third order. Check it out, guys. Who wants to feel relaxed? I do. I want to shout out some dates. I'm going to be in Bridgeport, Connecticut this Thursday. I'll be headlining the Stress Factory Comedy Club. Love Connecticut. Maybe I'll do a sweater across my shoulders or something. Then I'll be in New Orleans at the end of the month, September 30th and October 1st at the Comedy House, New Orleans. Oh my God, Waffles is licking my foot. I'm losing it. Then I'll be with the Comedians of the Compound in Orlando at the Orlando Improv on Thursday, October 27th. Then we're doing a Compound Media Censored TV collab on Thursday, November 10th in New York City. Venue to be announced the day of. Then I'm headlining in New Brunswick, New Jersey at the Stress Factory on Thursday, November 17th. Then I'll be in San Diego, February of next year. I can't believe we're in 2023 already. Doing 2 shows at Mic Drop Comedy in San Diego. So check it out. Go to ChrissieMayr.com for tickets. And we can loll in person. Speaking of lolling in person, I'm so excited to have this guy on the podcast. He is a friend. He is a comedian. You may know him from Ginormous Food. Josh Denny, welcome.
Hey, Chrissie. Thanks for having me.
Bigger? No, let's do it smaller like this.
Yeah, I look good in widescreen.
I look like that chick from Willy Wonka who blew up into a blueberry and is gonna like roll away.
No, absolutely not. You're talking about
I want to Oompa Loompa now.
Violet Beauregard? No, that's not you at all.
Okay, good. Okay, good.
No, you actually look younger than she looked in that movie. That was like a 12-year-old.
Stop it.
That was like a 12-year-old who looked 65.
Oh my
There's
God.
something about the British that even when they're children, they look like they're 50. Like we just watched this show, The Baby, on HBO, which is like this horror. It was not good. I don't recommend it, but
The Baby.
It's called The Baby, and it's basically about this cursed baby that basically falls off a cliff into this woman's lap, and then she has to figure out, the legend of this haunted baby or whatever. But this baby is like a baby, and it has the face of a 65-year-old man, and the show takes place in London. And I just assume that's what British babies look like. They all look 65 years old in the face.
Well, look at the Queen. She has looked 95 years old the whole time I've been alive. She's one of these people who was just born to be a geriatric.
Yeah.
She lived way too long. It was enough already.
You ever go back and look at like pictures of your grandparents when they're young and you're just like, "Oh my God, they were regular people at one point?"
Yeah, it is strange. I wish I could have known my grandparents when they were like this age.
Same.
Like functional adult age instead of I'm about to die all the time. It's like,
I mean,
boring.
My dad's been old my whole life. I would love to be able to go back when he was like my age. That would have been 4 years before I was born.
Yeah. Yeah, I wonder if like me and my grandma would have gotten along. Probably not. I probably would have scandalized her.
Really?
I'd be like, come on, Mildred, let's do a keg stand.
You have Mildred on the wet spot on Monday nights just hanging out with you and Zia.
Yeah, and Mildred would be like, I've slept with one dude. I'd be like, step it up, Mildred.
Yeah, she's like, I got married when I was 13. You're like, oh, we don't really want to talk about that one.
She met my grandfather in like a department store, like I think in the sock department. He worked in the sock department.
Nice.
He was older. He was like in his 20s. My grandma was in high school. And it was like, she really, I mean, I know that they're the greatest generation or whatever, and they complain they had it hard or whatever. But they had it so much easier in many different ways. Like my grandma didn't have to like go to college. She didn't have to like turn into a feminist and then spend her whole 20s, pulling herself out of the indoctrination. She didn't have to have student loans. She didn't have to like go work a shitty job in New York City and commute 3 hours a day.
I have this new bit about, because one thing that's funny about our side, and boy, do I have plenty of gripes with our political side. But one of the things that's funny to me is like this new sort of interest or trad push to like homesteading lifestyle. And I go like, are you motherfuckers just discovering the Amish now? Like I grew up in Philadelphia. We had Amish our whole lives. It's called being Amish, right? And if you know the Amish, they can't wait to get away from that shit, like human trafficking. So like they literally have a thing in the Amish world called Rumspringa, where they're literally like, okay, we'll let you go be a normal human for like a long weekend. You can fuck and drink and smoke or whatever. But when you come back, we own you again. And you have to unplug all your doodads and get back to your whittling and your butter churning.
Yeah, there's definitely been a glamorization of homesteading since the pandemic. Like the whole pull your kids out of public school, move out of cities crowd, start your own farm. And it's like,
I don't
disagree. It's not that easy to do.
I don't disagree that public school is trash, but this idea of like, no, we're going to grow our own food. It's like, okay, calm down, retard. Why don't you just order Amazon Prime like the rest of us? Somebody in the chat goes, is that an Owen diss? No, I mean, yeah, I guess it kind of is, but I mean, in a weird way, he was doing that before it was like trendy. So at the very least, and by the way, if you run a cult, I expect that you do some wild shit. So like, of course you're going to be into growing your own vegetables, you running your own cult. So like the Amish and the people down in Texas and the old Ruby Ridge and most cults grow their own vegetables, and they deal with their own mentally ill. And Scientology, I'm sure Scientology has their own food program.
Who knows? Maybe you and I will be so canceled that one day we'll have to resort to homesteading.
Well, for me, it was always like a idea for retirement. Like I was like retire. This to me was like the perfect idea of retirement would be to like move to a country like Ireland, live like in a suburb outside like the countryside or whatever, have like a small sort of farm to table restaurant, grow your own shit, have your own livestock, small amounts, and you just serve 20 tables of food every night and you run a small business and that's it. That's retirement. I mean,
Denny in the chat thinks I should start a content farm. That would be fun. Maybe for the next content house, we'll go somewhere really remote.
Content farm.
Yeah,
now I'm all about that because I'll be William Ellison in the first 45 minutes of content farm. I'm like, listen, I found all these black guys out there who I got to do all the work, so we're covered there.
Invite them in. We'll do porn. We got some OnlyFans girls.
Me and Gino will be outside on horses. Well, actually, probably me and Anthony will be outside on horses with rifles, making sure everybody stays inside the yard. They're not prisoners. Awesome. They're interns.
They're just doing this for college credit.
They're not slaves. They're interns. Okay.
Dude,
that needs to be a T-shirt.
You have to tweet that out right now.
We have to have a shirt that says interns.
They're not. I'm gonna draft this. They're not slaves.
Oh, are you gonna beat me to the punch on it?
I mean, no. I mean, you should tweet that out. It should say, the first line should say, they're not slaves, space, they're interns.
I don't think of them so much as slaves. Or I don't think of them as slaves.
This is the pre-podcast you guys are witnessing.
Interns. That's a good one.
Can't wait to retweet that one.
I don't think of them as slaves so much as interns.
That's great.
All right. And send. Wouldn't it be funny if we watched wouldn't it be funny if we watched a Food Network cancellation mob come after us in real time?
Oh my God. I'm proud to report I am the first to retweet this.
Yeah, Anthony had a good one when we were in Vegas last week where he goes, Jesus Christ, with these people, it just feels inevitable. And we all started dying. And we were like, inevitable? I was like, that's a T-shirt.
Yeah, getting robbed is inevitable.
Inevitable.
If you have a store in New York City, it is inevitable that it will be looted.
Yeah. Somebody goes, entrepreneur. That's a fun one. Entrepreneur.
Oh my God. Like, the rule of entropy is like when things fall apart over time.
Oh my God. That one writes itself.
Mm-hmm. Oh, thank you to XSL for becoming a new member. I'm going to schedule a member stream, I think, this weekend. Same to you, Edward Lockwood. Thanks for becoming a member. From Tubular Bra. Josh eat burgers with toothpicks inside them still to this day, as it reminds him to always stay vigilant.
Okay, so that one is very inside baseball. That makes me feel like you have a fan that maybe used to work with me on my show.
Oh,
because that sounds like something one of my culinary producers would have messaged, and she would have only done that because she watched me stab myself in the mouth with toothpicks on multiple occasions. Yeah, so what they would do with these ginormous dishes is they use toothpicks to hold them together like arts and crafts. And sometimes we would have to leave them in when I would take the bite because it's the only way we could keep the ginormous thing together. And we were at what is this place? Clinton Hall in the financial district. It's got this big outdoor patio. So we were doing a Christmas episode and it was August in 105-degree weather, blistering hot. And we were trying to eat this Christmas ice cream red velvet waffle.
Ooh.
And it's melting. So we have like one take, right? And so I just literally grab this thing and eat. It's like a red velvet waffle ice cream sandwich, like triple decker, 5-decker, whatever. And I grab this thing and I bite into it. And literally, Katie, our culinary producer, is watching this 6-inch toothpick go right into my lip, and it went straight through my lip and came.
Oh my God!
And
thank God, side?
And thank God the cameraman was able to pull away from it so we could still use the take, and you didn't see me pierce my lip. But yeah, I still have a scar I think it's
Oh
on
my
this side.
God, Josh.
Yeah, like I literally put.
You could get hurt eating.
Yeah. Well, if anybody's gonna do it, it's this fat fuck right here. You know.
Damn. Did you bleed a lot?
No, that was the only time that happened that bad. But it's funny because my director, my camera guys, everybody came over and they go, I got to be honest, we're 22 episodes in, and I would have thought this happened 20 episodes ago. So
wow. See, it's a dangerous job.
Yeah, they were worried because they were like, oh no, the day might be over, and that's not good. I was like, nah, let's tape it up. Let's go.
Yeah, and yes, Josh Denny can take 6 inches.
Oh yeah.
Okay. BLM thinks they are invincible. Not bad. Not bad, Dave. Let's see if there's any more in here. There's also an entrepreneur. True. Like after you loot, you sell your goods on the street.
Josh LaCash even got in the comments on the intern tweet and said, wow. Okay, well, if Josh LaCash is saying wow, then some people are doing like popcorn emojis, like, yeah, this is, and it begins. Like they're just tuned in.
Oh my God. Oh wow.
Yeah, it's funny. People what was I gonna say? There's still people that pop up randomly who are just like, "Is this your guy, Food Network?" It's like, okay, you do a Google search.
No, I like that. I like that people try to cancel you every couple of months for a show that you don't work for anymore. Are you still there?
Yeah, I'm here. Yeah, I didn't know that.
You were like, you were wondering if I was gonna make.
I thought there was more to that. No, I thought there was more to that.
There's like, not.
I was at the end.
There's not. Somebody says, "Don't prude shame." Oh, okay, yeah, don't prude shame my grandma.
Oh yeah, I'm a total vanilla bean. I hung out with some friends in Vegas this past weekend who are more in the line of work that a lot of your guests are. They're folks you should have on the Wet Spot, by the way. Really funny gals, and but we were talking about the world of OnlyFans and sex, and they said, for number one, they think I could bring in a lot of dough if I had an OnlyFans. Which I don't know if I liked your facial expression reaction.
Okay,
to that,
I just thought there was more coming.
Oh, okay. Well, not if I'm naked. No one's coming. But I was gonna say, we were talking about what the fuck? You derailed me. We were talking about me being. We were talking about me being sexy to gay guys. Yeah,
and you said I could bring in a lot of dough, and I just was like, I was trying to make a dough joke.
Oh yeah, no.
Got away from me.
Yeah, no, I would definitely be one of the gays love me. It's like I amassed this big gay. Yeah, I amassed this like gay following from the Food Network show. And anytime I talk about gay, like doing OnlyFans or whatever, I'll get like 10 gays in my DMs and they're like, yeah, dude, do that shit.
Oh my God. I'm not going to say who, but I recently found out that like one of our fans of the show is kind of in the closet, and he was like, don't tell anybody. And I'm like, dude, nobody cares. Like truly nobody cares, but he's so worried about his dad. Like he's like, my dad is literally going to jump into a bathtub with a toaster if he knows that I'm gay. So
yeah, well, that's my theory about bisexuals. I don't believe there's a such thing as bisexuals. There are only gay people whose parents are still alive. That's an old one, but so true. I mean, so true. Yeah, and yeah, I mean, it is kind of weird that there are still people that are like, I had a friend who up to a couple years ago was in the closet, and I was like, are you sure, dude? Because everybody knows you're gay. Like you scream homosexual everywhere.
Really?
Like so just first of all, he's a male bodybuilder. He has negative 4% body fat. He's shredded.
Yeah, that's like my dad. My dad is like jacked still at 76, and I'm like, how did I not see this?
He's a baker, okay, and like this guy is so happy all the time. I was like, maybe I should stop fucking women. Like he's my friend. Yeah, he's always happy. And so when I met him, he's like, you know, I'm gay, and I was like, yeah. Of course I know you're gay. And he's like, well, how do you know? And I go, nobody's this happy. Nobody is this happy. No straight man could ever be this happy all the time. And he's just his food. He's like, I follow him on Instagram. I almost want to plug him, but I don't know if I don't know if he wants to be that out, but
Okay.
but yeah, I don't know. You know what? He puts pictures up with his. Yeah. Okay. So let me find him and I'll tell everybody they can go follow my friend
See, this
Andre.
person who's a fan of one of my shows, you wouldn't, and I've been hanging around him for months and I had no idea, but last night he got a little too drunk. He told me and
Yeah,
couple of
this
the
is
other
my
fans
this
that
is my
he
buddy Andre,
Okay, let me do
and
full
people can
screen.
follow him at Andre
I can just see a neck.
Trapeza. Hold on, there you
Okay,
go.
all right. There's a
Yeah,
glare,
so
but we're doing it.
yeah, I'm trying to get it to
Andre
focus.
Trapezio?
Trapeza, yeah. And yeah, they came out to a show recently, just like shredded.
Ooh.
Pro bodybuilder. So his fucking Instagram feed is like hot naked, half naked dude, mostly naked dude, and then like cake, and then naked dude, and then like creme
All the
brulee. And
indulgences
I was just
that
like,
life
well,
has to
I'm here
offer.
for the creme brulee, but I'll stay for the hot dude. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? I'm not gonna
cake
walk
and
out on
cake. It's
yeah.
all of life's, pleasures.
Yeah, so, it's like, I started to say, so we were in Vegas and Gavin, he talked about this on his show, him and Anthony. Gavin's new hypothesis is that I'm a closeted homosexual because all my guy friends are boring and quiet. And the only reason I would hang out with unattractive, boring, quiet guys is if I
That
was
is so
fucking them.
funny.
And I was like, okay, Gavin, so let me get this straight. I'm gay because my guy friends are not hot enough or outgoing enough for you. I get it. I'm gay. You know what I mean?
I would enjoy seeing a cool new class of gays. Like, I just feel like the gay stereotypes is like fashion flamer or like drag queen or like very angry in the closet, like about to snap at any
rage
point. Like
gays.
that rage gays. That's kind of the gay that my dad is because he's always angry. And he told me he let a guy suck his dick 45 years ago. So that explains his rage, his lifetime of anger. But
Yeah,
I think having a gay guy that is kind of like a Gavin McGinnis who's like fashionable, but not super fucking gay fashionable, like manly, stylish, and like confident. Like, yeah, I like dick. Like maybe these people exist, and I haven't met any, but maybe I'm just touching on stereotypes.
I'm just telling you, if I were gay, I'd probably be tanned on an island somewhere, sipping fucking Mai Tais and loving life. You know
what's
what I
stopping
mean?
you from doing that right now?
Heterosexuality.
Okay. Are you married?
What? I mean, no.
Okay. I forgot your status.
Yeah, everybody does.
I need to, yeah, nouveau gays. That's what we want to work on. The Pride Boys. Exactly. It's great. Metrosexual NVIDIA, but like also being fully gay is what I want to see.
Yeah. Yeah. Guys who don't fully suck dicks, but they might sip a pee-pee or two once in a while.
Yeah.
It's my new line. I said it to a friend yesterday, and now it's my fucking catchphrase. I was like, yeah, that chick, she's been known to sip a few pee-pees in her day.
I like sipping pee-pees. It's like a casual.
It is. It doesn't sound so terrible. Yeah,
you're not like sucking a dick. It's just like a taste.
She's a real pee-pee sipper.
Matthew Hammond, have you seen pictures of people before and after World War II? I'm guessing cigarettes, alcohol, and PTSD aged them 20 years.
Oh yeah, I've seen some of those on social media.
I'm gonna look at before and after World War II.
There's one picture, and I don't know how quickly it'll come up in your search, but there's like a guy who's like 20 and then 24, and he literally looks like he went from 20 to 60.
Ooh.
And in his after picture, he's just like, like he's got the full like shell shocked face.
I think I found it. I think it's the first one that comes up when you
probably
Google before and after World War II.
Yep, that's the one. That's the guy. Yeah.
Oh no, he was like
and that
boy band, and now he's like, oh shit.
Yeah, he literally goes from Will Poulter to Willem Dafoe in a matter of like 4 years.
Wow. This is on Pinterest on the
That's a lot of mileage of dead Jews that you've witnessed, right?
Yeah.
Like, if you don't believe in the Holocaust, look at this guy's fucking face.
Oh no, what happened here?
Oh God, why are you showing me this?
I don't know.
I gotta eat sometime today.
What's this?
Why are we looking at
I
these
don't
freak
know.
shows?
I don't know, because this is what the war did to people's faces.
No, this is just what syphilis used to do before we had penicillin.
Look at this guy. This guy turned into a superhero.
Oh,
I don't know what happened here.
Looks like a Dick Tracy villain.
Yeah. Dun, dun, dun,
This is the mask.
The man behind the mask.
Yeah. Is that a mask? No, they had to staple pieces of his asshole to his face. But we still call him Jimmy the Mask. Yeah.
Oh, God. This guy looks like a Halloween decoration. Oh, that's Hiroshima. All right. Sorry,
Yikes.
I need to creep everybody
Look at that
out.
thing. I think that was Uncle June from Sopranos that you just had up there.
Oh, God. Why are we looking at these?
So funny, by the way, that the last time I was on your show, we were going through all the ways you can fake Chinese into your phone. And now we're looking at Hiroshima before and afters.
Yeah, Hiroshima, not great for faces. That was so fun. Yeah, we were like just saying what we thought Chinese was, and then we're having it what was
translate.
Translate.
And then you find out you get some of it right.
Yeah. That was so funny. Holy shit. Oh, God. The World War II generation still looks healthier than the current one, despite all the tragedies. True. I agree, Chipagus.
Yeah, look healthier, though. I mean, that's all relative, right?
Yeah. Oh, you giving me... Oh, the horrors of war is so hilarious. I'm not saying it's hilarious. Like, I'm not watching this happen in real time. It's tragedy plus time. Then you can make jokes.
Yeah, we're not cranking down to this shit.
Yeah, you people don't know anything. And everyone's giving me shit on Twitter for my InfoWars tweet where I'm like, my stripper name is Sandy Hook. Oh, you're making fun of dead kids. Oh, really? Did I mention kids? Did I mention death once? It's literally a joke about me being at InfoWars. And it's like the most...
I think I retweeted that. That was... No. That wasn't hacky.
Like, my stripper name is blank, but that has been
fucking
used
fantastic,
so many times.
And you do not answer for it to anyone. That was a fantastic joke.
Dumb. And then I had this idiot. It's always somebody I did improv with 15 years ago that climbs out of the woodwork to judge me on some sort of viral tweet. Oh, I did improv with her. I used to know her. She's really changed. Oh, she's never gonna go mainstream now. And this was like literally a woman who I remember. Back in the day, she was a professional clown. She was married to another professional clown. He later turned out to be gay. So she had this.
Oh my God, get out. Did he really?
She had all this like PTSD from being like, oh my, she had this whole manifesto. So I married a gay clown or whatever. Like she was like, trying to make bank off it. She wrote a book about it or something. She was definitely like making it part of her identity. Like I was married to this gay clown. And I'm like, you're telling me how to be mainstream? Please, girl.
Yeah, the ways that people find to break themselves never ceases to amaze me on a daily basis. It's like, does anybody just enjoy like a porch on a sunny afternoon with like a fucking Arnold Palmer and just chilling out? Can you guys just chill the fuck out once in a while?
You can't. It's all... Everyone's been watching too much porn, and now they can't get off unless a gay man is squirting them with a flower full of...
Yeah, but that's the other thing that I don't like about our right political side is this war on porn. Like to me, it's this is the way I look at it: is you're never going to put the toothpaste back in a tube, so to speak.
Right.
With women participating in the sexual economy. So would you rather them sit at home and diddle themselves and take pay pig money, or just go out on a million Tinder dates, get knocked up, and have 1,000 abortions? I would rather they stay home and flick their goddamn bean and be safe from getting raped and impregnated. And so I think that's the lesser of two evils. I don't think they have to go Amish and churn butter and marry the first guy who fucks them. And the other thing too, by the way, this push of marriage I've found with a lot of conservative guys is women go out and participate in the sexual economy and they get busted up and hurt and disappointed, right? Because there's no monogamy in that. And then so a lot of guys that are sixes are like, no, I'm trad. I'll marry you and have a kid right away. And women are like, oh, thank God, stability. Let me jump on that. So this push for traditional values has been how men who are sixes land hot wives, because their hot wives go out and go, well, the tens just want to fuck everybody, so I can't marry a 10. And then a guy who looks like me comes in and goes, I'll marry you and give you a baby right now. I have a factory job. And then they go,
yeah, that's stable.
They go, this is good. I like this.
I don't know. I've never been. I don't know. Maybe it's just a woman thing. Like the idea of going for a 10. It's like because I work with comedians. Like I never thought of just pursuing someone just for looks. But I remember like maybe occasionally I'd be like, oh God, I'd see a guy that was like almost too pretty looking. And I'd be like, yeah, no, that's not going to be fun for me. And I see how male comics are who get a ton of attention. So it's like, why? Yeah, it's like I don't want to deal with like being with somebody who has to constantly swat away pussy. But who knows? You never know what's going on in somebody's DMs. Like it doesn't matter if you're married, engaged, single, like your DMs can be full of offers. I think it's just all about how you because you could be super good looking, but like if you make the person you're with feel comfortable, like you're not going to just be distracted by every whiff of attention. I think that's good to do no matter if you're like, doesn't matter how good looking you are. I think that's part of being an adult is not just being like, I will go literally wherever the wind blows me in terms of attention. I think that's like kind of sophomoric, or that's kind of like an insecure thing.
Yeah, I mean, I think men go through an ebb and flow in their life. Like, when I was young and I was a musician, I was like, oh, I'll get pussy being a musician. And then I didn't because I was a guitarist and not a front man. And then I became a comedian and I was like, oh my God, I have to swat pussy away everywhere, which was insane to me. And then, of course, you go through your phase of like, I'm going to fuck everything I can. And then you get that out of your system and then you find companionship or whatever. And then after 10 years in a relationship, I think men, like marriages or whatever, they go through this phase, like a midlife crisis thing where they have to prove to themselves that they can still go hunt. And I think women have to understand that is part of a man reaffirming his masculinity. And there's absolutely nothing you can do to circumvent that, because every guy, it's the same reason that guys will get into their 40s and 50s and start picking bar fights. Like they need to know that they can still defend themselves. They need to know that they can still fuck. Like we're just trying to prove to ourselves that we're still somewhat useful. And
I like that. I like that. And I think if you understand, if it doesn't get to an unhealthy place, like where you're literally getting like busted up in a bar fight, like I think it's important for women to understand that like men have these urges and they need to like basically stand in their virility, I guess, and like understand what that is instead of being like, oh, you're toxic, or like, oh, we got to train you. It's like, stop it.
Yeah, and women have to understand that like a man's desire to covet a woman who's not his partner in any way has nothing to do with her. It has everything to do with him and his ability to like how he sees himself. And it's I can't speak for women because I'm not one, but I imagine it's probably the same for them too as they have a couple kids and get older. Like, you see this in the movie This Is 40. I just rewatched it the other day, and she goes and she's hanging out with the Philadelphia Flyers with Megan Fox, who's like plays a girl who works in her store. And she's, married, 2 kids, over 40, and these hockey players are hitting on her. And she's like, oh my God, you want me to come back to your room to fuck? And he's like, yeah, I would fuck you. And she's like, oh, she's like, I'm married, but I can't. Aww. But oh my God, like, she's like, it's good to know I still got it, right?
It's an ego boost.
Yeah. So everybody needs to know that, that they're still desirable, and you just can't get that from your partner forever, because eventually you're just like, well, this bitch has already been tricked. I've tricked her.
Right. Sometimes you don't know if they're saying and doing these things to be nice, and then you get a fresh impression. It's like, okay, I do look good in this dress. It's like, okay, I do look this, it's not that you have to take a thirst trap all the time, but it's like, all right, it's nice to get that fresh impression, right? Because you don't know if the person is like just kind of yesing you.
Yeah, so I don't know. I mean, I got into this whole back and forth with people on Twitter over the weekend about like why I don't believe in the concept of marriage, which is very divergent for somebody who's like libertarian conservative in any way. But I think so much of it today is about ownership and territorialism, and at the end of the day, like people are free to do whatever they want. Like the idea of marriage is not ultimately binding in society anymore. and it's a contract with the government, who I have no faith in whatsoever. So there's nothing important to me in that regard. So I just don't see a reason to do it ever.
But it's also a contract with God. It's also like, I don't know. I didn't think I would feel anything when I got engaged, but I really truly have. And I don't know if this is like, I don't know what this is, but it actually makes me want to be a better partner. And like, I'm excited all over again to be like, cool, this is my fucking partner for life. Like, we've already been doing it for years, but there's something really nice about like kind of doing it with God, I guess. And I don't know, I feel like kind of connected to my purpose a little bit more, and
that's
I
good.
feel like I'm kind of like honoring him a little more, and there's something nice about
honoring God or honoring Frank?
Both.
Oh, okay. I'm
Yeah.
just making sure I'm following.
It's cool. It's pretty cool. And like, I never thought I would feel this way but it's because I never was with a guy that was kind of super valuable and like cared about my dreams and shit like that. But who knows? It was probably a combination of me not being in that place, not letting anybody in, and then I was also, I remember when I was single, I would just like purposely meet guys that I knew were not going to be good enough.
Long-term viability.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, first of all, I would definitely say congratulations on that. And I did message you guys both when I found out about that. So, but that's good. And yeah, I guess, I mean, that, I imagine your faith is a big part of it. Like, I don't have that sort of relationship with a specific religion in that way. I'm pretty convinced that we were the product of aliens fucking gorillas.
Wow.
So I think that's as likely as all the other things. But I don't know. I mean, I just I'm not really like subscribed to a specific like religion or deity in any way where I sort of like seek some sort of interpersonal relationship with a higher power. I just sort of acknowledge that there's something out there, and that's it. I don't need to know anymore. I'm not curious about that. I was when I was younger, but I really am. I have so much faith in that we exist beyond our physical being that I don't need to have any specificity to what that looks like. I just have so much faith that we're just too intelligently put together to be accidental, and that this existence that we're in is not the only thing we'll ever experience, and that's it.
That's cool.
I'm open-minded to whatever's next.
Almost Buddhist. Like, I think it'd be fun to come back as a dog. Like, I think I would be a great dog because it's like all the fun stuff I already like to do, but I don't have to pay bills.
Yeah, I look forward to in the future to a spoof Chrissie Mayr the dog account called Chrissie Mayr's Teats.
Oh,
dog Chrissie's
marriage
teeth.
is a trap, especially for dudes. It makes me sad when I see comments like this because I know a lot of men feel this way. And
yeah, and keep in mind, I won't pretend that I'm like some cool guy. Like, I watched my parents go through 8 failed marriages between the two of them.
Oh,
so
shit. Okay.
I have a pretty cynical perspective when it comes to human relationships, and I just think human beings, for the most part, are flawed, and they shouldn't make promises they can't really keep or even understand. And I've never met anybody that I felt like truly understands that kind of commitment or whatever. But I'm not somebody who would ever say that no two people are in that position, right, to make that decision for themselves. I'm not somebody who would say like, oh, it's bad and no one should do it. I just say it's not for me.
And I was in the opposite situation growing up, like where I wish my parents had gotten divorced. They stayed together the whole time, even to the end. And my dad was even like watching my dad like resentfully take care of my mom who's dying of cancer because he feels like, well, I got to make it right in the end. And it's like, dude, you got to just hire a full-time nurse because you're old and you can't carry her to the bathroom. And sure enough, he threw his back out and he fucked himself up so much
just taking up all of his pee-pee sipping time.
Ew. But I was just like, who are you proving this to? Like, you guys were shitty to each other like your whole adult life. Like, but I learned what not to do in a marriage, and which is constantly undercut that person. Like, they were resentful, cynical, passive aggressive. Like, it helps for a kid building their sense of humor to be exposed to that. But like, as an example of how to be a partner, it was fucking horrible. So they were a good example of like what not to do. And a relationship is like a living thing. It's not static. You have to be constantly checking in. You're constantly changing. They're constantly changing. Honesty is the thing that needs to be constantly flowing, because the second it's not and it gets crusty is when like that resentment can come through, and then you're like, why am I being shitty to this person?
Yeah, I also think, like, in a weird way, so the only currency that matters to me in life and my existence is experience with people, meeting new people, interacting with people, hearing their stories about their lives and their experiences and everything. So for me, I don't think it would be honest for me to ever make any kind of commitment to somebody that would propose that I would limit the way that I would experience and interact with other people at any moment. And that might sound selfish.
What does that
it's
mean?
sort of like,
you want to hook up with other people? You want to be like,
it sort of means like if the universe presents me with with this alternative path that is interesting or exciting to me, I'm the kind of person that's going to take it and deal with whatever fallout or consequence happens. I'm a very risk-taking person that way. It's why I've blown up my life so many times with tweets and making decisions, and like, it's not just like this raw thing of like lack of impulse control. It really is this thing of like, I have this morbid curiosity of, if I were to restart my life down this path, what would that look like? And I would never pretend to another or lie to another person that I might not do that. Like, that I might not, like, I think it's unrealistic for me to go that no other human being could ever enter my life and change. How do I know that Andre isn't going to show up at my door in an hour with a cake and his cock out, and I'm just going to go, this is the move. Now I'm a baker's husband. I'm in a throuple with a baker and another gay. You know what I mean? It's just like, but
you have to go through it. I think it takes commitments to learn about yourself, because if you never commit to anything, even if you never fully committed to comedy, you wouldn't be where you are today. If you were like too much of a pussy to like, you know what, I'm going to fully do this as much as I can.
And by the way, I still think I haven't fully committed. I think I could work harder. I think I could do more. I think, but it's also not the only thing I'm interested in my life. Like, there's other stuff I want to do in my lifetime too. So it's like,
Josh, does part of you, are you seeing anybody right now at all?
Yeah, I've been with the same person for 10 years.
Oh, 10 years. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So you're basically married.
Yeah. But if she came home tomorrow and was like, I met somebody and I don't want to do this anymore, I would not feel bad about it at all. My only hope in all of my relationships I've ever had with people is with women. Somebody's going to clip that. People, see, there's dudes in there. I don't know how they identify now. They were women when I ruined them. But every situation I've ever been in, my only hope is that I make that person a better, more well-rounded person when we're done, as they were when I met them. And because I can certainly say that about me. Everyone that's ever been in my life, no matter how long or short, has shaped it forever. So, and that's kind of why I have this like hippie open-mindedness to it, of like, I would never want to deny the reality that life is long and that all kinds of people can enter your life and shape it in ways that you never understood. And if you're one of these people that's closed off to that, your life experience is going to be very limited.
Do you think that marriages closes off something in a person where they wouldn't meet people that would affect them positively?
I've seen it happen. Like, these couples that are married that they can't even hang out with people of the opposite sex because they're afraid of the temptation or whatever. So it's just like, I think, first of all, yes, there are couples like that where they almost use marriage as like a way to handcuff themselves from experiencing things outside of that relationship.
But that's somebody who would have lived their life with horse blinders, and it's just like having kids. It's a perfect excuse to say no to things and kind of keep your life small.
But even men who know what the right thing to do is lack impulse control. So I think some of it is people trying to like put a fence up around themselves to do the right thing, even though they're not compelled to naturally. And I just think that I think that those impulses might be deeper than just raw impulses. And I think there might be some things that you have to learn about yourself by experiencing other people. And I'm not just talking about in like a sexual way, even in an intellectual way, like having conversations with people that you would have otherwise never crossed paths with is a profound thing to experience in life. Like when to go back to talking about when I was Uber driving and stuff, I did it for like 9 years in LA. That job throws you in the mix with people you would have otherwise never met in your life. And I find that to be an invaluable experience. And so it's like
pretty cool.
If the world presents you with these crazy adventures that you can go on and you don't do it, you're just going to end up resenting your partner or person that you feel like is depriving you from that anyway. And that's what I watched all my parents go through with their marriages. And so I think you can be, there are people that have like open marriages or open relationships that I know that seem to be very happy with that, although they almost always explode down the line and don't go that way. But yeah, somebody said keep your life small. That's I think the problem is that I think if I could never be in a marriage that's intended to keep my life small, there has to be this ability to go out and experience all kinds of things. And I have that. Like I'm with a partner who's like, you can leave and go do comedy for a week. And I'm not going to call you every day and be on the phone with you every day and be up your ass every day. And I'll be like, you go, like she'll leave town and go work on a project for like a week or something in another state. And it's like, you know, you get to that level with someone where you're just like, you're not going to stop living your life because of our relationship. And if she came home one day and was like, I met somebody and I want to explore that, I wouldn't feel like that's any indictment of me whatsoever.
Right.
I would just be like, cool.
You wouldn't be like a little bummed? You wouldn't be like, shit,
first of all, not in this. How long have you and Frank been together?
Like it'll be 8 years in November.
All right. Well, you know, that's close enough. But I'll tell you this, 10 years, I'd take a year off. I would be like, you go do you, and I'll be fine.
I think that's what I like. Well, we talked about like the idea of like maybe fucking around with somebody, like no one in particular. We just were like years ago before the pandemic, we were like on that Thrinder app and we're like, yeah, we would be down. Like I've had a couple, not tons. I've had a few. So I like women.
Sound like a real pee-pee sipper over there.
I've sipped a couple pee-pees and a couple of V's in my day.
Whoa.
That would be something like if he came to me in like whatever tomorrow or in a couple of years or whenever, like, hey, I really am into this other chick, I would be like, I think I would be a little bummed because I'm like, I wish that was something we could have done together, like explored together, instead of like you wake up one day and like I want this totally different thing. I'd be like, fuck, like I wish, because I think just honesty is the way through any of this stuff.
Yeah, but
like,
I mean, you can have total honesty and everything else, and it still doesn't necessarily fulfill or scratch that itch that the other person might have or that you might have, right? So like,
true.
I don't know. I try not to feel I try not to feel any permanence about relationships with people in my life, and that's just what I adopted from watching my parents. Like, you know, in my lifetime, my dad's been married 3 times. My mom's been married 2. And they've had countless other relationships in between. And it's just like, and they all had positives and negatives, and all the people that came in and out of their lives impacted my life in positive and negative ways. So I just don't, the idea that like I think back on my life and I go, if my parents never divorced and I never met my stepdads or my stepmoms or their boyfriends or their girlfriends along the way and all the other life experiences that brought me, I would be a boring, lame, uninteresting person. And so it would be like super hypocritical for me to be the beneficiary of that lifestyle and not advocate for it and say, listen, you don't know where life's going to take you. You could also be somebody whose fucking spouse. I had a niece just die of fucking cancer at 26 years old. 26 years old. She's an identical twin. And when I went to Delaware, that show that Frank booked for me last year, she had been diagnosed and she literally died like a month ago.
Oh my God.
In a year. So went from being a perfectly healthy 26-year-old in a year, gone, right? Tragic as fuck. And so we don't know what life is going to throw at us. Like, who am I to tell any fucking woman who graces me with her time in this lifetime that she's not free to go do whatever the fuck she wants whenever she wants to do it?
Okay, so are you guys monogamous?
I mean, as far as I know.
Okay, so
I mean, like the house was pretty clean when I came back from Vegas. So
sounds like you're already kind of married. Like you've been together 10 years. You're not fucking other people.
I mean, that I know about,
you know,
but I don't I don't know what the fuck I think she's at work today. I have no idea.
Do you wonder if there's like a little bit of you that's like, I don't want to get hurt, so I'm gonna have like a little bit of an out option in case shit goes down.
No, it wouldn't not hurt. It would be like, you know, because you have time invested with somebody. So what it hurts the way that life hurts. Like I fell asleep on the couch the other night and I woke up to a song that I loved off of Live. Do you remember the band Live from the 90s?
Yes. I loved Live.
So that album was the first album as a kid that I played front to back over and over and over and over again, that Throwing Copper album. And I had fallen asleep with YouTube running in the background, and I woke up and it was like a live performance of like songs off of Throwing Copper. And I immediately I almost had like a fucking panic attack, this anxiety attack of like realizing how much time has elapsed between when I got that record and this point in my life. And I immediately started to feel horrible about like, oh my God, like that's a whole lifetime that's now behind me and I'll never get it back. And I started thinking about it was like my whole life flashed before my sense of like loss, because all of those memories are now in the past. And those are things I can't go back and relive, and things I miss and people I miss and timelines that I miss. And so it was like literally like mourning your own existence in an instant.
Through it, you consumed it. It's not like you
but I didn't meet that. I didn't meet that with a sense of fondness. I meant it like, and just being honest, I met it with a sense of panic and anxiety of like, oh my God, this is all dead now. Like all this great thing, all these things I loved are dead now.
All right. Is it, but the things, nothing is permanent. Things are meant to be enjoyed and have a specific time connected with them. Do you feel like there's anything you haven't done yet that you really, you're like, shit, I want to do?
Tons of things I haven't done yet. Yeah. I mean, you know, I have career ambitions, things I want to do. I have places I want to travel and see. You know, yeah, there's a handful of, without getting too specific and deep. There's quite a few things.
I visited my childhood house last week. I went back there to get a birth certificate to get married, because it's like we couldn't get them to send it to the house for some reason. So I went with Frank's mom. We drove back to Rockville Center, where I'm from, and it was like, it was so we're driving around town. I'm like, oh my God, wow. Like, and then we drive past the house I grew up in, and I was like, oh, holy shit. And at the house, like, when did we move out? My mom got cancer, like what, 2015? I think they moved out like maybe 2016. They moved to Florida. Like, that was crazy too. Like, you have this horrible terminal cancer sentence, and they're like, we're still gonna go to Florida, which was, I get it, because you don't want to be like about to die and shoveling snow. So, but I drove past the house, and the house used to be white. It was gray. The front door used to be wood. It was yellow. It was like bright yellow now. And so I'm having Frank's mom like slow down, and like a creep, I'm just like, we're driving by slowly, and I have like my phone. I'm taking a little video. The new owner comes out, and I was like, I get out of the car. I was like, I used to live here. Like, I couldn't have been weirder.
You're one of those. Woman.
I used to live here. And she's like, you must be Chrissie. And I was like, yeah. And turns out the woman who bought the house was the older sister of a girl I was friends with in high school. So I completely knew her. I'm like, same face. Yeah, you were the older sister of like this girl, Lindsay, that I knew. And I was like, do you mind? Like, can I come inside? Like, can I like look around? And she was so sweet. She let me come inside. I'm taking videos, like a creep. All their papers, everything, their life is out. It's happening. And she was home. And it was crazy walking through this house, because she was a professional, like, real estate or home flipper or whatever. It looked so much better. It was more open. It was just improved in every way. Like my brother's old room was now the kitchen with it was like modern with like an island in the middle. But I'm walking around and I'm like, oh my God, this house looks so small. And it feels like I lived here a lifetime ago. And I'm walking around like some things were exactly the same. Like the crappy hook on the back porch door was the same. The window with like the big crack in the middle was still there.
Yeah.
Like the banisters going down to the basement were exactly the same. The paint on the stairs was the same. It was the same degree of worn off. It was really nuts. And I was just like, wow, it
And what did
feels
you
like a
feel
lifetime
walking?
ago.
Yeah, what did you
It
feel
was
walking
cool.
through
You know what?
there?
I was like happy that this house had new life because my mom's grandfather built it. It was the first house on the block. I remember when I lived there, I was very insecure about how like my parents didn't make enough money. I've like said this before, I would have my friends drop me off at the neighbor's house because I was embarrassed of how like our house was smaller than the other houses. It was like a Cape Cod. But it was different looking because it was the first one on that whole road. And then everyone came in and then there were these like sort of cookie cutter split levels that were put all around. And so I had this like kind of new appreciation. Like the kid version of me was like insecure about it, but I was like, no, this house is like old and cool and it has new life. And I went up into what was my parents' room, which is now the little girl's room. And it felt happy in there, and it made me happy because I remember the feeling when I'd go into my parents' room. Like, I think me and Frank one time slept over there when he was staying over. It was a bad vibe. It was a very bad feeling in that room. It needed to be staged. The windows, it was just like the energy was indicative of like the tension and like their bad relationship. So I was happy that these rooms had different energy and there was new life. And it was like gay, but I was like saying hi to all the trees that I remembered. Like the pear tree was still there. It was like very cool. And then like the flower box that my dad had built in the back was still there. So like the things that he put, and he's like a handy guy, like, you know, he can build stuff. So the things that he built that were still there, it felt very cool.
Well, that has to feel a little bit like he's living on, right? Like,
Yeah.
you know,
I mean, my dad's still alive.
No, but I mean, like,
yeah.
but living on beyond his existence, like those things will be there after he's gone and for generations. And, you know, I think for me, it's funny because people are like, oh yeah, this dude's fucking cynical or miserable. But it's like, no, it's like, this is the other thing I think people don't know about me either. Like, I don't drink or do drugs of any kind. I've done it I've done it a couple of times in my lifetime. So I've basically gone through my entire existence fully sober. Every hard thing that you've ever drunk your way through, I've had to deal with. Every hard thing you ever fucking got high and avoided, I've had to deal with. So it's just I have a very sobering, for lack of a better word, understanding of the reality that we all live in. And so for me, the only currency that matters to me in this existence, in this life, is stories. Like the thing I love and will remember the most about everyone in my family are the stories. And a lot of people have died. Like my brother died a couple of years ago. You know, my dad's old. He doesn't have a ton of years left. But the thing I remember about people, or that I love about people, are these stories that live on in you forever. And so I think that's why I love comedy. I don't know how good I am at it. I don't know how successful I'll ever be at it, but I love it because I love it because it allows me to tell stories and it allows me to hear stories. And that's what is so interesting to me about people. That's what I love about podcasts. So the idea that I would ever stop reading in the weird sort of like experiencing life, amassing stories kind of way, that feels like death. And so I will never not chase a story. I'll never not chase a story. If I meet fucking two random hot chicks in Dallas who are like, we're going to go on this adventure, there's the Jack Kerouac in me that's like, this is a story in the quiver of my lifetime of stories. And so I'm not going to go get that story. So I wouldn't want anybody else to not go get stories either.
So you don't want to get married on the off chance you meet two hot girls in Dallas that want to go on an
First of all, that's probably not going to happen in Dallas. No offense, Dallas, but no, it's just this. It's not that I'm not doing it for that reason. That might be a story of its own too, but I'm not the only person writing my life story. All the people that come into our lives and that we deal with on a different basis, like, you know, I didn't know Gavin McInnes 3-4 years ago, or what, you know, whenever we met. I think it was 2018 we met. So what's that, over 4 years ago? I didn't even know him. I didn't know Anthony Cumia. I didn't know you. Look at all these people that are now in my life that are such a rich part of my life. And imagine if I was somebody who had anything in my life, my political beliefs, a marriage, whatever, that prevented me from meeting all of you guys and getting to know you. And I think it's why I'm such a curious, open-minded person, and why I've been able to have my opinions changed about things over the years, and my politics has shifted, is because I am a curious person, and I like to hear people speak, and I like to live life vicariously through the stories of other people.
What's
and so
birthday,
I, you know,
Josh?
What's that?
What's your birthday?
August 18th. Are you going to hit me with some astrology shit?
It might be a Leo. Let's see.
I am a Leo. You could have just asked that.
Okay. I'm going to say Leo and in relationships. Leo men in relationships can make excellent partners. They're passionate, loving, and they're not afraid to show affection. There are downsides to being in a relationship with a Leo.
This is all you wanted to get to, or the negatives?
No, he can be stubborn and jealous, and he'll flirt with people who aren't you, like the two girls in Dallas.
that don't even exist yet, by the way.
One of the best things about being in a relationship with a Leo is he wants to make sure you know he loves you.
That's true. That's true.
You're warm and affectionate. He'll give you gifts. He'll shout his love from the rooftops if he thinks he needs to.
That's gay. I don't do that.
His passion and flair for the dramatic aren't for everyone, of course.
Not me.
What some people see as loving, others see as over the top.
Yeah, that sounds smothering. That's definitely not my vibe.
Yeah.
That last line is totally true, though. On the negative side of things, you'll have trouble getting him to stop flirting with other people. He doesn't see it as a problem. I don't see it as a problem.
Aha!
Yeah.
It's all about what does the person you're with, your partner, feel about it. And if she understands you and she doesn't take it personally, then it's all good.
Yeah, I mean, whether they take it personally or not is not going to change how I am as a person. Like, everything I have in my life I've made on personality. I'm not a George Clooney, in case you guys are fucking blind. So everything I've made in my life I've made on personality and making people smile and feel engaged. I would never allow the presence of another human being to dim who I am at all in any fucking circumstance whatsoever.
Yeah. And
I've had to really put a lot of work in almost 40 years of life to like myself for who I am. I'll be goddamned if I turn that off for anybody else ever. And fuck any woman who I ever encounter in my life who would ever ask me to do that for their own insecurity. What a weak pussy way to be as a chick.
To ask someone to stop flirting?
Oh, could you stop being yourself? It's making me uncomfortable. I would never be with a woman like that.
No, of course not. She sounds like a
real nagging coont. Yeah. Ugh. Who wants to be around one of those?
But if you're not with somebody who's like that, what are you worried about?
I'm not worried about it. I'm saying that's why I would never be with somebody like that.
Okay.
Every woman that's ever been with me for any amount of time is attracted to the fact that I'm like that. So they would never be like, don't be that way.
Yeah.
They don't love me because I'm piping them down from fucking 10 feet across the room. That's not happening. So, I'm not showering. They're not driving around in Bentleys. So if they don't like who I am as a person, chances are they're not going to be there,
Yeah. I don't think there's anything wrong with, I think there's a difference between like being personable and charming versus flirting. And I feel like you're, you know what I mean? Like I think you're more like charming than you are like, oh, if you meet a woman that you're like, you got to be like, hey, you want to like, I don't know.
Yeah, I guess.
Like, you're not like making sexual advances. You're more like being charming and lovable.
I don't make sexual advances to my fucking old lady because I'm not a creep. So I just have never been that way. Like, you ever seen this thing where like dudes will be talking to a chick at a bar and they'll like grab her hand and like, ugh. I mean, I say, have you ever seen that? I'm sure you've experienced it, but it's like there's a level of cringe to the way men flirt with women that is like vomit inducing for me, where I'm just like, stop being so fucking desperate and corny. You know? I mean, and for me, like for women, so much of what I jive with women is like their personality and their vibe and their attitude. So like, and that's the other thing too, is like when that really is how you're wired, you don't have a type. You don't have like a profile of like who you're with. Like if you put every woman I've ever dated or been with in a lineup, you'd think you were looking at central casting. You just like,
okay,
none
so
of these
not
things are the
looks,
same thing.
but
No,
personality
all of
wise,
it,
there's
looks,
type.
personality, everything. Like, you'd have religious black women, you have Middle Eastern chicks who are, you know, hippies. You'd have
But they probably
tattooed
all
white
have
girl
things in
hippies.
common. Like
no, they're
love
very
a guy with
different.
a good sense of humor. Like they all had in common the qualities you have, what they
Maybe.
go for in a guy.
Well, that they like, but that doesn't make them the same.
No.
And the things that they didn't like, obviously why relationships didn't continue. A lot of times it was that they did not like. Like, they didn't like, there were a lot of like firecracker chicks that I was really into when I was in my 20s that couldn't stand being around somebody else who could take over the room. Like, they hated that. They hated anyone who took attention away from them.
Yeah, that's a pretty insecure. I feel like that's a young person thing.
Yeah, I mean, so I don't know if it, you know, I don't know if it had anything to do with like their horoscope or their astrology or whatever, but we were, you know, 23, 24 at the time, 26. Like, of course, that's it.
Yeah.
And then there are women who, I will tell you this, there are a lot of women who are very pretty, who men tell them what they want to hear all the time. And I don't do that. I don't tell anybody what they want to hear. I tell them what I want to say or what I think. And I think I've hit, I've bat above, or punched above my weight because of that, because there are pretty women who are used to men pandering to them, and I don't fucking do that. And they appreciate the honesty.
That's
and
true.
Then they have to see me naked and they go, I can be lied to. I don't need to.
I've noticed too. I can rattle off a few examples of people I know who like, oh yeah, they're pretty, so they have not really been checked much in their life.
Ever,
like
yeah.
Their bad qualities have run amok because guys want to fuck them and girls want to be friends with them. I don't know,
Yeah.
or maybe they don't have
right.
a lot of good girlfriends.
Yeah, so you hit a woman like that between the eyes with a real dose of reality about who she is. And then in a weird way, it's like a fucking aphrodisiac. I'll never forget this. I took a girl on a date. I used to have a test date that I would take women on when I lived in Long Beach when I first moved here. There was a shitty hole-in-the-wall Mexican place that I loved. But it was like between a liquor store and a laundromat in an old strip mall. And it was like a pile of shit, but the food was incredible. And I would take girls there because immediately, depending on how comfortable or uncomfortable they were in this location, I could tell everything I needed to know about whether or not they were superficial or they were about the substance of things. And I took a girl to this place one time on a date, and she was like, man, this place is a real shithole. And I go, oh yeah? Why? And she goes, well, look at it. And I go, well, what about the people or the food? Like, you haven't even seen anything that really about
You're already
yet, right?
tallying up a score.
And she's going, well, yeah, but it doesn't matter because it looks like shit. It's just gross.
Ooh.
And I go, okay, cool. And she goes, for future reference, you shouldn't bring me to places like this. And I go, oh, I'm never bringing you anywhere ever again.
All right. See, I admire this woman being direct and telling you what she wanted, because if I had been there, I would have sucked it up and like probably not said anything. I would have been like,
but she was shocked that I gave back to her and I go, oh, there'll be no second date. I'm not bringing you anywhere. You're a very superficial bitch. I'm not bringing you out on another date. And then she was just like, so what do we do now? And I go, well, I'm going to order and I'm going to sit here and enjoy myself. And, you feel free to stay.
You didn't care about.
Not at all.
You didn't think it would be. You weren't even going to entertain the idea of maybe finding a different spot to eat because you didn't like it.
No, test failed, you dumb bitch, and that's why I take them on them. And you failed, and I told her she failed, and then we just sat there. And by the way, almost like having this out in the beginning of the date made it a very relaxing interaction, and we actually had a good time just hanging out and talking to each other. And then at the end of the night, she was mad that I was like, no, I'm still never going to see you again. We have nothing in common. I don't like you as a person.
That probably made her want you even more. She's like,
it did. She was like creaming her fucking pants afterwards. And I was just like, okay, well, this is what's wrong with you as a species.
Oh. Yeah, I feel like, I don't know. I feel like I've changed a lot since meeting Frank. Like I feel like being with the same person for so many years, they're constantly holding up a mirror, and like you can't get away with bad habits so much, whereas if you're constantly jumping around person to person, single most of the time, like you can you're not going to grow as much. If you have somebody who like loves you and wants you to be the best version of yourself, like you should be constantly kind of correcting each other.
Well, it's the old iron sharpens iron mentality. I think if you're with a person who is like-minded and shares similar values, you can sharpen each other that way. I think that's good.
Yeah.
And I think you guys fit each other very well. Like, I mean, I haven't gotten to spend time with you together, but just through conversation with you and conversation with Frank, I think you're very sort of complementary to each other. And I can see where maybe the personality traits that that he has complement things that you have and vice versa. Like, you know, one of you is probably more pragmatic and the other one more sort of impulsive and go with the flow. And so as long as you have like a good balance like that, I think it's good. But you also have to sort of appreciate the balance in your relationships too. Like you have to value the ways that you're different, and not everybody can do that. Like there are people that get along great, and they don't necessarily appreciate their differences, which I think is a necessary part for any relationship to last either, is to just go like, oh, I like for instance, I like sports and my girl hates sports. And so she's like, don't ever ask me to go to sports things, and don't take me to sport. And I go, cool. I don't bring you. I'll take other people. We'll go. We'll have a good time.
Yeah.
So, and I don't want to be around black people, so she can do that. No, I'm kidding. She can do all that she wants. I just hit her with the Donald Sterling. I go, just don't take pictures with them.
Oh my God.
No, it's so funny. But no, I mean, she's into like music I don't like and stuff, and you know, she hangs out with like LA girls, and ugh.
LA girls? What do you mean by that? TikTokers?
You know exactly what I'm talking. Yeah,
LA
fucking
comics?
Girls who are like, no, not LA comics. No, she hates
superficial.
She hates female comics. No, like influencer type chicks who are like, let's go here and take pictures here and do. I mean, yeah. So
yeah, that shouldn't be your whole personality.
No, but she's like lets people be themselves too, and to a fault. Like, you know, not to get into all the details of talking about her life experience or whatever, but she's a very forgiving person in the sense of like, she'll let people be themselves even when it has a negative impact on her. And, you know, then I have to like kind of like coach her up to like, don't put yourself through that for the sake of a friendship. That person doesn't give a fuck about you, you know? So you can stand up for yourself a little bit. And
that's what Frank really helped me to see. He'd be like, wow, like you're really with your family. It's really like a 90-10 relationship. Like I'd always be going to visit them. I'd be going to Florida, North Carolina, Vegas. I'd be going to where they are. I'd be like, you guys all moved away, and don't we all want to still see each other? So I'd be like booking gigs in the places where they live. So, and I'd noticed like years had gone by. I'm like, oh, no one's come back to New York to visit me. Like, what the fuck? And he helped me realize like, yeah, it's you basically.
Yeah, she did the same thing for me. It's a very hard realization to come to, that your family doesn't give a fuck about you. And
only if it's super convenient. Like my dad was on the way to visit a girl from high school, drove past upstate, and then like blew by for like a day. And I was like, oh, you're on your way to get some old, probably, I don't know, high school pussy. But this is before he told me about the dick sucking thing. So I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, what do you call it? Yeah, and that could have just been some manifestation of guilt of knowing that he should be doing that more. But like, yeah, my family doesn't give a fuck about me. They don't call and check in or whatever. They're so wrapped up in their own nonsense. They don't care what's going on in my world. And the little bit they do know about what I'm doing, they have their own hangups, and, you know, whether it's animosity about my political leanings or animosity or jealousy because of the way I live my life. Like, you know, I'm not a wildly rich dude, but I wake up every day and do whatever the fuck I want. And that kind of freedom really pisses people off that have to truly wake up and clock in every day and bust their ass to get by. And so I understand that. I'm not going to try to call my family members and rub that in their face. It's just choice. You know, like I am a big defender of people's choices, like having the freedom to make choices that make them happy. And I've made mine. And there are a lot of people who feel, again, this obligation to their spouse or their kids or even their life, like just they're obligated to what their life, the path that their life is already on.
And it's like you don't stay in the job you're in. You're good at this job. You make a certain amount of money that supports everybody.
Yeah, blow that shit up and start over if you're unhappy. You know, like fucking have some courage. Have some courage to just tear it all down and figure it the fuck out.
There was this waitress at the I think it was at the Helium in Philly, and she was like, she had recognized me from the North Carolina club, Good Nights, because it's the same chain. And she was like, you were there too, right? She was telling me all about how she used to be like an x-ray technician and made bank and just fucking
Yeah, I have a
quit
sister that does
and
that.
bought a van trailer. Now she's doing like #van life. And I was like, that's really awesome. She did exactly what you said, like kind of blew it up, got out of her big job, and now like I'm saying living in a van. I'm sure it's a little bit like better than that, but she's
and by the way, like
great.
I'm not saying it like I'm a cool guy who made that choice initially for myself. I got fired from a fucking job that I was making really good money and whatever because I did what I thought was the right thing and brought something to their attention that they were doing that was illegal and unethical, and then they fired me for it and blamed my comedy for it. And then I had to figure it out. Like I was fired for the first time from anything in my life at 30 years old, no college degree. I had a lot of professional work experience, but when it's kind of unheard of for somebody to do the jobs I've done without a degree. Like most people are not director of operations or executives like just below the C level for companies without a degree. And so if you like, I would always do well in interviews because people would meet me and go, oh, wow, that now I know why you've been able to succeed without having a degree because of the dude you are. And you're smart or, well-read. Like you have a lot of knowledge and wisdom that, even people who have great degrees don't necessarily have. But if you got to get the interview to even show that. And if people look at you and go, you're applying to be director of operations for a publicly traded company and you have no college degree, they're just like, get this guy's fucking resume out of here. So, it put me in this weird position of like, God, how am I going to make ends meet? How am I going to, so I had to get creative and started the Uber driving thing and started focusing more on like podcasting and stand up, and then got the TV show and did that for a while. And then, and then I think we've talked on this show plenty of times about how everything went after that. But, I was kicked out on my ass. My life, I had the rug pulled out from under me unexpectedly, and I had to figure it out. And I think it made me a better person. I think it made me a more interesting person. And I like the life that I have now. I like and it didn't always feel like I was going in the right direction. It didn't always feel like I was winning in any way. There were some real dark, fucking depressing times where if I had a gun in the house, I probably would have used it on me. But I pulled through those moments and then it was like, oh wow, like if all these negative things didn't happen, I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be there. So I've really like the cynicism that I think people, or the thing that people read on me and they say it's cynicism, it's really not that. It's like a true fearlessness of like, no matter how much life shits in my mouth, I'll figure it out. You know what I mean? So it's not like this cynicism of like when I say if my significant other comes home at the end of the day and goes, I'm packing my shit and leaving, I wouldn't be devastated. Like I've been through enough devastating things in my life to know that it's all just part of the journey, and you keep fucking going and you keep figuring things out and you make the best of it and you try to come up with some fun stories and perspective along the way. And I think my ability to take some of the most horrific things I've ever experienced in my life and make them funny is what makes me unique as a comic. And I hope that's why people like to watch me.
Has your girlfriend ever mentioned wanting to get married?
No, she detests the idea of marriage.
Really?
Her parents,
okay. So then
her parents stayed married, cheating on each other for so long. And like in their culture, their parents will never admit to them when they're caught in a lie or found out as being dishonest. And so like literally she could have like rolled up on her mom cheating with her on her dad with her now husband. And she would have been like, this is not what you think it is. You are too immature and too young to understand. She'd be like, you got his dick in your mouth. She's like, we are doing medical examination. This is not.
Oh my God.
Like they literally have this sense of like, because I'm your parent, you can never see me wrong and I can never admit that what I'm doing is wrong. So the concept of faith and trust in that way has been damaged for her forever because of her relationship with her parents and the way she viewed their marriage. So she's not chomping at the bit for it either.
Do you feel like you guys have trust issues?
between the two. No, I think it makes us incredibly brutally honest with each other. I think one of our biggest problems in our relationship is that we hurt each other's feelings a lot by being so blunt, and it's like sometimes you got to pull it back and go, the most important thing is not being honest right now. This is the time to be supportive and and caring and nurturing, not like, well, since we are talking about all your flaws, let me pile it in on you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that was a big thing I learned not to do, is like, if I have been like shoving something down, not talking about it, and then like Frank would bring up something that I did that bothered him, I would then immediately bring up the thing that I was
you're
like,
exactly like mine. So you're the same as mine.
So I like learned to stop doing that, because
it's terrible.
You got to bring the thing up when it bothers you and not just like sit on it and wait.
Yeah, because what you're doing in that moment is you're trying to use that as a way to not take accountability for the grievances that Frank is bringing up to you.
Mm-hmm.
And then nothing ever gets solved. And then this is why guys used to hit their wives fucking 60 years ago, is because they'd get to this impasse where you go, well, I just brought up that you don't do this. And they go, well, yeah, but you don't do this. And you go, that doesn't have anything to do with this. They go, so? And you go, well, I guess now I have to beat you.
And then women think that they're being the better person by not bringing up the thing that bothers them.
Absolutely not.
You in the moment think that you, when you're not bringing up the thing that bothers you, you think you're doing your guy a solid by like, well, I don't want to be a nag. I don't want to bring this up. I don't want to piss him off. So I'm just going to like shove it deep down. And then you're like, oh, the nerve of you bringing up something that bothers you. Well, now I can bring up my thing, because fuck it. But I guess we're not being nice anymore.
I swear to God, for just the little bit you're telling me right now, it sounds like you and Frank are in the exact same relationship I'm in the sense of like, she's like, well, I can't say anything because otherwise I'm nagging. And I got to go, no. Nagging is complaining about something that hasn't fucking happened yet. I'll literally walk in and go to take my shoes off and she'll go, are you just going to leave your shoes there? And I go, I don't know. Why don't you wait and fucking see what I do with my shoes before you start nagging me about it? And so it's just amazing to me that you guys don't understand the simple nuance of like, nagging is complaining about something that can't be fixed or hasn't happened yet. And that's not the same as airing a grievance out about something that is currently happening or has happened. It's just it's so weird.
I thought nagging was just any complaint, like, oh, pick up your towel. Like if I say that more than twice, that's nagging.
Is my towel on the floor right now?
Yeah,
then no,
you have towel is always on the floor.
Okay, so you have a legitimate complaint and grievance.
But what I've done instead of doing that is I just pick up the towel. Because
but the problem with that though, Chrissy, is you pick up the towel and then you file it away and you go, how many fucking towels am I gonna pick up before I say something? And then you wait
a lot,
until Frank goes, hey, I noticed that you fucking didn't pull the car around properly. And you go, you know what, motherfucker, how about you pick up the towels then? How about you pick up your fucking towels, Frank?
I kind of got over it. I pick up his towel. I pick up his kid's towel. It's like I do the laundry. It's like, I don't know. I think as I get older, it's like I'm sucking it up more.
You do the laundry? Well, I just came because that doesn't happen in this house. No, she does laundry, but I do all the cooking and most of the everything else. So, yeah.
I'd rather have a towel on the floor than like be hit. You know what I mean? So I'm just like, it's
not
that bad.
You need to send an email to all of the rest of them everywhere so that they can understand the same. That should be a t-shirt. I'd rather pick up a towel than be hit. Lesson, message sent, women. That's the perspective you should all have.
When you're talking about like the trauma in the old house, I was almost thinking of saying to the new owner, like, oh yeah, see that area in the kitchen? That's where my dad threw a chair at me. Enjoy.
Yeah. I'd rather pick up a towel than be hit. Well, at least you know. If we could only train the rest of them to be so grateful.
It's okay. It's like there's something kind of nice about like a part of a relationship is service, and you're both, and that's the thing, is like, is Frank gonna throw in my face like every time he makes a graphic or does something for my business? Like, no, he just, you know what I mean? Like, it's you both are doing things for each other, and then if something pisses you off, you gotta bring it up.
Yeah, see, here's the thing is I actually derive pleasure from doing for other people, and she does not. She does not derive any personal pleasure from doing nice things for other people.
Really?
Yeah, no.
So and she's not an acts of service person.
Not at all. No.
What's her love language?
Gifts. That's
okay.
It's a cultural thing for them.
What's her culture? Is she Hispanic?
Middle Eastern.
Okay.
Yeah.
I forgot.
You'll forget again.
I will.
We'll have this conversation.
I know.
It's like 51st dates with you, Chrissy. Every time I come on your podcast, I go.
Sometimes I forget things.
It's okay.
But you know what? I'll never forget the way you made me feel, Josh. That's what you remember.
I don't believe that. I think that's a lie.
That's a phrase.
Yeah. The people don't remember what you do. They remember how you make them feel. Yeah. It sounds like something Tony Robbins put in a book one time. Yeah, no, she does not derive any pleasure from doing nice things for other people. It's kind of sad. She doesn't like animals. Like does not like animals at all. Yeah, it's a very, but again, it's a cultural thing you have to understand. And it's kind of like, it's like a very, it's like kind of cold in like an Eastern European Russian way. You know what I mean? Which is kind of fun.
Like
and different.
animals belong outside.
Animals do not belong in house. Yeah, she doesn't sound like that, but it is kind of like that of like, I'll go next door over Carl's place and we'll be playing with the dog and shit. And then I'll come over and she's like, you need to take all those clothes off. You have dog hair everywhere. You better get that in the laundry right away. And I go, cool, I'll go fucking next door. I'll just play with the dog naked over there. Is that what you want me to do? Walk around the common area, the apartment complex, just in the buff so that I don't bring fucking animal hair over?
I love to cuddle the dogs. I'll kiss them right on the mouth. I bet.
Oh, no, absolutely not. No, if a dog approaches her, she'll jump. She's terrible. And she was chased. Aww. She was chased by a dog as a child, which is why she's terrified of dogs.
Was it a big dog?
Oh yeah, it was a fucking Rottweiler. Like chased her through her neighborhood because her dad.
Okay, that's scary.
Her dad didn't pick her up from school, so she had to walk home from school scared and alone. And then a giant dog chased her all the way home.
Oh damn.
Yeah, a lot of trauma in there, but I try to be as sensitive and rebuilding to that kind of stuff as possible. I don't know. I just think all people are projects. We're all projects in our own. We're all projects in our own little way. So it's like you just got to find one you don't mind working on for a few years or decades, and then maybe you finish it and you take it out and you sell it and you get a new one. So,
are you thinking about doing that? I don't know. I feel like I want.
I don't think I could get a lot for this one if I flipped her. The market's real shit right now for these. So, And it has been ever since 9/11. So until there's some sort of redeeming thing for their people, I think I'm going to take a loss on it no matter what.
This is an old super chat from NVIDIA. Imagine not doing unpaid labor. Oh, this is when we're talking about the interns.
Oh, yeah. Thanks, we should check in and see how that's doing.
And tubular broad, not a coworker, barrels owner. I don't know what that means, but thank you. Yeah, let's check in on your tweet, Josh. Oh, it's doing all right.
Yeah, 7
not bad. Retweets, 1 quote tweet.
113 likes. Somebody with the at Food Network already. Oh, that's a fan though. Fake one. They're faking it.
Okay, right. It was at and then space Food Network.
And it's a follower. Oh, see, people like it.
Yeah, it's a smart joke. Everyone's loving it.
Yeah, it's good. Those are my favorite kinds. Those are the good kinds.
This is my favorite comment. Lol, imagine this dude, obese, no family, a washed up 40-year-old who threw away his one chance to make it because he needs to participate in a stupid culture war. Have fun eating from Gavin's scraps.
Okay. Where is this? Is this in your chat?
No, this is like one of the
one of the comments
responses. Yeah. Wow.
Obese, no I mean, I have family. I don't know what that is. A washed up 40-year-old who threw away his one chance to make it because he needs to participate in a stupid culture war.
All that from one pun.
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to go too far out on a limb here, but I think that person's harboring a little bit of pent up animosity going into
they
this.
all are. Yeah. Oh, they all are. Someone tagged racism dog. That's funny.
Yeah, I get tagged on that one quite a bit.
Oh yeah, same. Great tweet.
It's a good one. It's a good one, and you were part of the inspiration of that, Chrissy. I'll be sure to credit you on my tombstone.
Writing credit.
Yeah. I just I don't know, man. Like I just like people, dude. I like being around all kinds of people, and You know, I remember I used to hate that about my dad when I was younger. Like, we'd go places and he'd just strike up conversations with strangers. And as a kid, you think it's embarrassing and weird and whatever. And then now that every time my dad coughs on the phone or whatever, I'm just like, I am one bad cough away from never hearing stories ever again. And so now, I used to rush him off the phone when he would tell Navy Yard stories. And now I'm like, I got to find a way to record these while he's on the phone with me so that I can just have them forever. I would love to do a podcast with him where he just tells stories, but I'll tell you, it's going to get pulled down from every platform for N-bombs for sure. So,
well, you could just record it and keep it for yourself.
Yeah.
And then
well,
maybe
edit
out the sassy stuff.
No, I got to keep the
post
ends
it as
in.
a video.
I'll just convince Gavin to let us upload them uncensored.
Yeah, that sounds really cool. Part of me wants to do an interview with my dad, but I think I would trigger him into anger so many times because it happens every time we have anything other than a superficial conversation, that it's just he's very hard to challenge, and he's very hard to, once you ask him about his feelings, it gets to a dark and angry place quickly. So that'd be tricky.
Both of my parents are total open books. They don't have anything that they will not talk about.
That's good.
It's a good and it's bad, because it's times it can be kind of cringe, but when your dad starts talking about gratuitous sex stuff from when he was 25, you're just like, okay, well, this is interesting. This is, you know what I mean?
Why do they think we want to hear about that stuff?
I mean, I shouldn't be as bad, because it's kind of funny with my dad now because he is so old, but it would never be funny with my mom. I don't even want to hear about my mom meeting a guy. Ugh, stop. You're in your 60s. Shut it down. You're done.
Yeah.
Hang it up. Hang up the skates and the jersey. It's over. Settle into being alone.
Oh.
No, I know it's not. No, it's just, I don't know. But there's also this weird thing I have of no man is good enough for my mother. So stop pretending that you'll find one. They're all garbage, Mom. You deserve better than any of them can do.
Oh my God. I had so many funny articles I was going to talk about.
Oh yeah. Sorry. I didn't mean to derail the show with life.
You did not. You made it better.
No, I don't think I make anything better, but
sure. This I should have brought up earlier when we were showing the pictures of Hiroshima. Do you know that there is a Holocaust cookbook? Let's see. The recipes that got us through the Holocaust. Auschwitz survivors reveal the meals they ate during their darkest days and the emotional stories behind them. All right. Well, they should make. Yeah, it is a cookbook.
What's it, a one-page cookbook? Ingredients, Jew. Cooking utensils, hot. And then you just put the Jew in the hot, and that's what we ate.
Jews in a hot, gassy room.
Put the Jews in the hot, and then it's a one-page. It's really more like a pamphlet.
Making Jew soup. In an effort to survive the astonishing hunger, inmates clung to memories of happier times and their favorite family dishes. A new cookbook by 29 survivors has collated these memories into a book of recipes, eating tiny amounts of calories and suffering from diarrhea and crippling abdominal pain. Many inmates died from weakness or starvation, and today they share these recipes. Let's see. Wow. Ava Shane Bloom was just 16 when she and her entire family were rounded up and sent to Auschwitz, loaded into cattle trucks in June 1944. See, this makes me feel better about my life. None of the, I'm not living through the Holocaust. I'm doing all right.
Yeah, you weren't ever made into soup. I think that's a pretty good.
They were immediately sent to the gas chambers. Only Ava and her sister survived. Wow. How do you survive a gas chamber? Just hold your breath. In the filthy, disease-ridden conditions. Okay, they had a miserable
I wouldn't say they survived it. Look at those faces.
Rotten vegetables and bitter liquid. So how do you make a cookbook out of this? Let's see.
What if we found out that their horrific levels of inbreeding is what allowed so many of them to survive?
Hey, whatever works, right? This is what they would eat. This doesn't look too bad, whatever this is.
Yeah, that just looks like Jewshetta.
Jewshetta. Oh, that's good. That's really good.
What you do is you put a schmeckle of marinara.
Schmeckle? See, this, I don't think this is a great idea for a cookbook. These aren't really
think? These were the worst idea for a cookbook. These are not
thriving culinary times.
Yeah, what else? What else they got?
God, let's see. Honey cakes.
Pies of the Plantation? Is that the next in the series of tragedy cookbooks?
Oh, wait, there's no other pictures. See, this is just lettuce.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is more just they're talking about getting sent to the gas chambers. And I think there'd be more recipes in this article.
I'm looking at this old man and I'm going, lettuce and ground up meat. You know what? I'll take myself to the gas chamber. Thank you very much.
Recipe so bad, you'll
gas yourself.
You'll gas yourself.
Yeah.
Oh man, what were they eating?
Yeah, maybe that's what's. Did anybody ever think that's what started this whole thing? Is that the Jews were like, "Let us cook for you," and Hitler was like, "Absolutely
no,
not."
Don't.
9.
All right, so here's
9
another
more
Holocaust recipe. This is stuffed cabbage and sauerkraut. Ugh. Oh no!
I'd rather eat dead horse pussy. Are you fucking kidding me? Oh,
this looks bad. Oh dear.
If you told me that was dead horse pussy, I'd be like, probably. That's what it looks like.
Forced to work in one of the camp's kitchens peeling potatoes, the cookbook's introduction says he was able to steal some of the shoes for his 4 sisters when he discovered they were alive, having seen them pulled through the fence. Damn, this is pretty depressing. This is how you make his...
Have you ever read anything Jewish that is uplifting in your entire life?
Never. This is how to make this. Oh, you got to preheat the oven to 350.
Yeah,
but no more.
Have you ever noticed there aren't a lot of Jewish life coaches? Have you ever noticed that?
True. Wow.
Yeah, well, you know what you need to do is think positive is something you'll never hear out of a man with that accent.
Oh my gosh. Well, maybe that's why a lot of them went into accounting.
Of course, they're very binary people. You know, we got to get the Jews to weigh in on this whole gender as a spectrum thing because I bet they're not for it.
Yeah. Okay, so another Holocaust recipe was chili. Oh no, this is just they're talking about the cabbage thing still. A chocolate sandwich. Let's see. All right, the chocolate sandwich sounds okay. Look at that. He's making a chocolate sandwich.
Okay. Also, why do you gotta... I hate people who cut into food like they're whittling wood. Set it down and cut it like a fucking human being. See,
this is how my dad.
This is how it started with. This is how it started with Hitler. Hitler watched this and was like, "They have to be ended as a people."
Goodbye. My dad will eat an apple like that, like an apple and cheese. He'll just hold it in his hand and he'll, with a big knife, cut off slices and eat it like a psychopath.
Yeah, that's insanity.
Yeah, that's how he eats everything.
What are you, fucking Milton Berle? Stop with the carving things out of your hand and eating them.
Look, see, you don't want to eat this chocolate sandwich, Josh?
That's just bread and a butter and hunks of chocolate.
It's a chocolate
sandwich. Typical Jews. We made a sandwich. It's build it yourself. Oh, okay, cool. So they'll labor entirely on. You guys are literally subcontracting the making of the sandwich to me.
This is what they would eat to fatten up. Oh God! Look, you want to eat some of this?
I don't want anything to do with any of that. Look at her old crypt keeper fingers. Ugh. They literally look like dinosaur dicks. Look at those hands.
Oh no! It looks like when you get like a Halloween like grab bag. It looks like the plastic jokes. Like
she ain't grabbing my bag. Ugh. Not with those fucking talons.
Oh man. Oh, the secret ingredient is a thimble. Oh, these are cookies. After a horrific period and barely alive, she was liberated to the Russian army, and then she started making these jelly cookies.
Ugh.
Yeah, these aren't.
How could you ever bake again after if you survived the Holocaust?
Oh God!
If I went to a concentration camp where they were cutting guys' dicks off every day, I don't think I'd take up sausage making. No, I'm just saying. I don't think I'd take up sausage making. I mean, if they were literally shoving Jews into gas chambers and ovens, I don't think I'd be like, it wasn't until I saw 6,000 of my countrymen baked alive that I thought, I really miss my calling as a cookie maker. It wasn't until Goebbels shoves the last Jew in the ovens that I thought, I
can. That would be good with apricot.
Yes. Oh, that's when I had the idea for the knish.
Oh, let's see what else. Oh, look, carrots. Tova and her mother survived Auschwitz when they hid among corpses instead of heading into the death march. That was smart. And now she makes what, carrot cake? What is this?
She's still pretending to be a corpse. Look at her fucking face.
Oh my God.
She's still hiding.
And now they made this, what, this a carrot salad? This is also kind of unimpressive.
Ugh. This is what, you know, I get it now. Like, you go over an old Jewish grandmother's house, she thinks she's got candy, she gives you fruit, you're like, I'll kill this whole race of people. This cuisine, I believe, is what started the Holocaust.
There's a reason why no one's ever tried to kill all the Italians.
Yeah, exactly. They go, I got a real problem with you, Dago sons of bitches. And they go, okay, why don't you sit down and eat something and then we'll talk. And then they go, what were you mad about? I don't even fucking remember. I can't even. I gotta open these pants up.
Did Stalin try to kill the Italians? What was his deal?
I don't think so.
Okay.
No, the Italians were always
6 million cookies.
Not
enough. Sounds like not enough.
Wow. Yeah, that's not enough cookies.
I love cookies. What do you mean?
It's pretty funny.
The baked goods, joke to God.
Too good, I think that is.
Oh, too good. The baked. Yeah. That's funny. That seems like a good note to end this episode on.
Boy, going over Jewish cuisine really takes it out of you. Now I get to go do. Anybody who's watching this live that's a member of Censor TV can come over and watch the Big Time Sports City Sports Show over at Censor TV at noon Pacific. That's a little plug.
Where else can people follow you?
At Josh Denny on Twitter, joshdennycomedy.com. And then by all means, please, if you're in the Dallas area, sincerely, come see us this weekend. It'll be myself, Anthony Cumia, Gavin McGinnis, probably one of my dud, unattractive, unfuckable friends, or more hanging out. Actually, I think Eric and Lila are going to come out on Friday.
They're great.
So love those guys. I just had them on my podcast, Jankum,
awesome.
Which people can subscribe to. Go over to my website, joshdennycomedy.com. You can subscribe to the Jankum podcast. But yeah, Friday 9/23, Saturday 9/24. Then we're going to be in Chicago October 20th with Crip Daddy, which I'm excited for.
What venue? Or you're not going to release it?
Yeah, we don't announce that either.
Okay.
I'll tell you, but not on this, not in front of these fucking animals. And then as you mentioned at the top of the show, I'll finally get to see you face to face in person.
Oh my God!
For our show November 20th. And I think I'm going to try to come in. I got to get with 10th, you guys. Right? Yeah. Sorry, November 10th. Yeah. It's October 20th, November 10th. But I think I'm going to try to come in like beginning of that week and make the rounds with podcasts and stuff.
Yes. Do my show. If you come on a Monday, you can do Wet Spot.
I'll come do them all. I'll do Wet Spot. I'll do In Hot Water. I'll do Anthony's show with Gavin.
So that'll be November 7th, that Monday.
Yeah, I'm probably going to come in that whole that whole week, and then I'll probably hang out on the East Coast for a few weeks after that.
Yeah, that sounds awesome.
Cool. Yeah, it'll be good. Yeah, and it's funny too, man. Like I've really enjoyed being on the road with Anthony and Gavin. Like they're getting light years good at comedy very fast.
Real. So is Gavin doing stand-up?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah, we're all doing stand-up. So I think, awesome. And we're all very different. Like I'm sort of more like bits. And I think Anthony is a little bit more like traditional. You know what I mean? Like, well, you've seen him. So it's like, he's got some like one-liners, but they're sort of wrapped in stories. His style kind of reminds me of like Geraldo, where it's like bits, but it's more conversational. Yeah. And then Gavin is far more storytelling. So we kind of it makes for a really good show with the three of us because you get three very, very different kinds of comedians.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's the same way when it's you and Anthony and Gino too.
Oh, for sure. And I agree, but like Kumia's stand-up has just improved. And I remember when he was like kind of not afraid to do it, but just like hesitant. And it's like, dude, he had all the tools. He had all the stuff. So he just needs to get up there and be himself, and he's great.
Yeah, I think for him the biggest thing is like being able to like quickly mine stuff that he wants to talk about into material.
Yeah.
But even from Orlando to Vegas, it was like monumental improvement over the same bits. And
wow.
I assume he's not going up in New York, so it's like doing fucking nightly spots or whatever. So but I mean it was funny, like we when we came off the stage and we did the meet and greet afterwards, there were people who had also gone to Orlando, and they're like, all of you guys, like from one show to the next is like way tighter and crisper. And
wow.
And I was like, well, it should be that way for me because I've done like 6 shows since then. But for those guys, like I think it's even more of a testament to how much fucking natural ability they have.
You know what also is tighter and crisper? Nana's Holocaust cookies.
There you go. They're made with 100% love.
And struggle.
Yeah. Ooh.
I really want to get into making more. I was making a ton of pies at my last apartment, and I haven't made a pie in like a year, so I'm getting that urge.
I got a good pie recipe I'll send you. Do you like cheesecakes?
Maybe.
Are you a cheesecake maker at all?
I like to make an apple pie.
Oh, that's a good one. I like a good apple pie.
Because I finally found a good crust recipe that's like very buttery and good, and it kind of browns really nicely. So I'll be about that.
Yeah, I like a good apple pie. I like a good brown on my apple pie.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I make a pumpkin cheesecake for Thanksgiving every year.
Damn.
And it's like vegan and gluten free.
And
no
it
thanks. Is well, hold on a second though, Skank McGee. It's fucking delicious. Don't ill my cooking.
Because I'm wearing an Irish. Because I'm wearing
you
a
don't
green
fucking
shirt,
insult my cooking before
vegan,
you've ever tasted it.
No,
vegan just means dairy free.
Okay, but what have you replaced it with?
Dairy free cream cheese. Tofutti cream cheese.
Are you dairy free? Are you a vegan?
No. But if I give dairy to the old lady, she'll shit like it'll look like it's like 7 9/11s in the toilet.
Like a 7-Eleven?
Yeah, she fucking does. Yeah, exactly. She they're again culturally they cannot handle any kind of dairy.
Wow.
So like we can feed her dairy, but I'm gonna have to unclog a toilet or two, and it's gonna be a real mess. Man. Yeah, it's bad. Like, you guys should be able to look at me and think like he's the worst shitter in that household, and I'm gonna tell you, it's close. It's closer than it definitely should be.
I like never shit.
Get the fuck out of here.
Really, like never. It happens mostly like at work, or like when I travel.
That's when you shit.
It's the opposite. Like my butthole is more comfortable away from the house.
Really? See, mine only opens up in the house. Like when I'm out in the streets. When I'm out in the street, I am locked up.
Right. That's normal. I think that's
in
most
or
people.
Out. Yeah, nothing's getting in or out. You can't get in, you can't get out. I mean, I'll tell you a funny story before we get out of here. We went to this museum a couple weekends ago, and we got like all dressed up. I like did my beard and like lined everything up and like, got all freshened up, pressed a shirt, like put on a nice pair of pants. She put on a dress and makeup and everything. We're like, we'll go to the museum and then we'll go to my birthday dinner, which we haven't done yet. My birthday was August 18th.
Oh, happy birthday.
Oh, yeah, thanks. But we've been so busy, we haven't been able to do it. So we're like, we'll go to the museum, and it's in Beverly Hills. And then we'll go to a nice birthday dinner after that. And I don't know what the fuck I had eaten the night before. We got to this museum and my stomach just started going nuts. And it was really bad. And so we made it through the museum, and I was like, dinner's off. We have to go home. This is going to be a fucking problem. And I'm not kidding. I've spent like the rest of the night over the toilet, just, dropping heat.
Drop that heat. Better out than in.
Yeah, it was a mess. Any guy who tries to knock on that back door back there should get a fucking Purple Heart. if you're gonna tap me into shit, my God, the bravery on that young man.
That's what's kind of nice about gay guys. It's like if you're going back there, you must really want it. Like how flattering.
I mean, you're gonna get knotted up in the hairs, and there's bound to be something back there that's not all the way clean.
Like when our dogs have dingleberries stuck
It's there. Got listen. I mean, I'm very thorough. but I can't see back there. So, you know, I mean, I've literally, I don't know about you, Chrissy, because you're a lady, and I obviously very pristine. You don't even poop, as you mentioned earlier, but
Nope.
I've had times where I've literally like bidet level detailed my asshole after a poop,
and then nothing happens.
No. Then 3 hours later, I'll literally be walking around and I'll be like, why does it feel like I didn't wipe my ass at all? And I'll go sit on the toilet. I'll go sit on the toilet and I'll wipe without pooping again. And it's like I took a whole extra shit.
What?
So it's like I just have shit leakage. It's almost like it broke off and I pooped out the first chunk, and then the other chunk just sort of like it's like slipping its way out throughout the remainder of the day.
See a doctor about
I'd probably have to see a doctor for a myriad of things, right? I had a gay optometrist tell me I have a brain tumor. That might be
really
around yeah. But you know, I'm not going to take medical advice from a guy who hits dudes in the shit.
Yeah,
it's his freedom to do that, but
get a second opinion.
It's pretty medically rogue.
Get a straight opinion on that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Hey, doctor who doesn't fuck other guys, for starters. But then again, like my primary care physician is an Indian woman, and they cook with shit. So I'm damn, you know, you can't get a good medical opinion out of any of these people. We have years now of bullshit vaccine recommendations to look at for that.
Oh gosh, yeah.
You think I'm going to let a lady who tells people to get the jab to tell me what to do with my asshole and brain? No, thank you. I'll just keep seeping shit out. Thank you very much.
Asshole and brain. Oh my
God.
God. Well, this is exactly how I wanted to end this episode. Detailing Josh's gastrointestinal queries.
Hey, listen, you don't do a show like Ginormous Food without some collateral damage.
Colorectal damage.
Yeah, I'm sure I have all the digestive cancers at once.
Nah, you're doing great. You're doing great, Josh. I adore you. Everyone follow Josh. Go to these shows. I'm so excited to meet you in November. And yeah, keep on.
It feels like a red tape meeting. As I talk to you and Frank all the time.
Red tape meeting?
No, I said like a red tape. Like we've all pretty much met. We just haven't seen each other physically.
It's weird. I met Lauren Southern for the first time a couple weeks ago, and
what was he like? No,
Lauren?
I'm kidding. That's so mean. Dude, in a weird way, I like her deep, manly voice.
I do too.
I thought the first time I heard her, I was like, oh, is she one of these conservative transes? Because she might be able to flip me. and then she's not. She just has a deep voice.
Very much a chick.
I'm kind of into that too.
She's very cute. Yeah.
See, if that mannish lady strolls up on me in Dallas, I don't know if I'm going to be able to.
She's not mannish at all, though. Her voice is just like a little deeper, and it makes you like, oh, she's serious. She's working on stuff.
Yeah, she's a very Buffalo Bill. It puts the lotion in the basket. Back when Stefan and I had a show together. Yeah, I don't know that I'm not going to get all horned up for that.
You might.
You got all kinds of. You got such a collection of weird sexual beings in your whole orbit.
In my life? Oh yeah.
Yeah, all your conservative. I told Gavin next year I want to do like a March Madness of all the conservative chicks. Where we cool. Bracket them and we make them compete like best in show. So it would be like Lauren and you and Savannah Hernandez and all of them. We'll put them all in brackets and then it'll be like tournament style. And then the winner will get to marry Alex Jones.
Okay. And then like would it be like a best in show where like Gavin has to like walk the woman around?
Yes. First of all, if I'm gonna have anybody trot a woman around an arena, it's gonna be Gavin. No, It's gonna be Gavin McInnes. He's the only one with the suits for such a maneuver.
That's true.
Do you remember Best in Show? Do you remember?
Yes, I love that movie.
Do you remember John Michael Higgins with the suit and he was walking the dog up? That's God. Gavin. Yeah. That's Gavin. I'm Christopher Guest. Funny. I'm the guy with the blood. He's a bloodhound. Right there, and
I want to win Best in Show.
Well, maybe we can't have you in it though, because then people say it's rigged. You know what I mean? Because you're in our world, right? So they'd be like, "You guys just rigged it so Chrissy could win."
That's not fair at all, because I really could be the winner.
You probably could be the winner. I mean, if we're going off of personality and boobage, it's going to put you in the top 3 right off the. Why does our side not have big boobs? Do you notice that we don't have a lot of meaty clackers?
We do have big boobs. It's just the people are not out with them. Like Abby Roth Shapiro, conservative, big boobs. But
She got some bazongs. Yeah, we got a lot of petites.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? A lot of fat shaming petites, which I don't care about. That doesn't bother me.
No,
like I know that they like to think that they're too good to fuck fat guys, but wait till they hit 30 and then they'll really reconsider.
Oh yeah, yeah.
They're like, take care of yourselves. You guys are fucking fat and gross. And I go, what are you, 26? We'll see you at 32, sweetheart.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'll care more about our ability to grow vegetables and raise your children. You'll settle for some man tits.
Yeah, you'll forego a fupa if there's a couple of buckets of dehydrated food around that are gonna get you through a hard time.
Yeah, but the weird thing is like, but I feel like a lot of them on our side are kind of stiff.
You mean personality-wise or physically?
A little prudish.
Who are you thinking of when you're saying this?
A lot of them. I mean, I don't want to name names and hurt feelings.
You mean like they don't seem like a fun time, like fun?
Yeah, like I mean, go through the entire Turning Point roster, right? None of those girls seem fun.
Name
me one Turning Point gal that seems fun.
Who? I don't even know. Let me look up the roster. Who? Turning Point USA.
Right? You got.
Why haven't they asked me to be a Turning Point girl?
Because you're fucking fun. You're not one of these Amish butter churners. You got a rack. You'll bust it out once in a while. You'll climb in a hot tub with some drunks. That's not their jam. They can't have that. That's bad for the brand.
Oh my God.
They got to have these Handmaid's Tales.
All right. We got
Alex Clark. I like Alex.
She seems like a biological what's her face?
Blair White.
Yes, this seems like the biological Blair White.
I follow all of these. Alex Clark is cool. Isabel Brown is really fun and bubbly, but I bet fucking stale bones in the bedroom. Same with Morgan Zeggers. Morgan in my mind,
so cute.
Morgan in my mind is the hottest of all of them, but she's like she probably only fucks cowboys. Like that like her
sounds
vibe.
Good.
Yeah, I mean that's not for me, but yeah, that's good for her.
Guess what, Josh?
Graham is
you from being
Graham
Morgan's
is my
type.
favorite. What's
Josh,
that?
buy one set of cowboy boots and you're in, buddy.
No, I would. She's 5 feet tall and like 98 pounds. She would die underneath me.
So have her be on top. Have her be the spinner that you've always dreamed of.
I like you the way you.
But no, she likes
line dancing and Bible study. Like I can't do all that. She does too much reading for me. I can't do that.
Okay. What about
Kendall Jones? I don't know her. Paige Rue. I don't know either of them. Jordan Rachel Smoke Show. A little bit extra forehead, but I won't mark it down. I don't know Erin at all.
She's an Esquire.
Oh,
that sounds fun.
She's a law lady.
Yeah.
Drew Hernandez looks like they just told him that he's not allowed to have sex with any of the girls. He looks like they just gave him the news.
Oh my God.
Like, Drew, you can't fuck these girls. He's like, are you serious?
Like, look, you can be on Turning Point, but you can't fuck any of them. He's
like, are you fucking kidding me? This is why I'm here.
Oh,
Lauren Chen, Smoke Show, very wholesome, very nice.
Yeah.
I've had her on my show.
Beautiful.
She's got a ton of personality.
She's so smart too.
Yeah. Oh, incredibly smart. These ladies will all give you brain boners for sure. I don't know. Morgan, by the way, stop. McMichael, I don't know who that is.
She's a Gen Z social media influencer from Texas.
Yeah, she looks like a real estate agent.
This is just like a beauty pageant. This just feels like this has a beauty pageant vibe.
It's an honor to be part of this organization. Yeah, and you know what's funny is they don't have as many of them as I thought that they did.
Yeah, there's not that many girls here.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4.
So I'm trying to get a taste of your tastes. 9. Which one do you put at the top, Chrissy? Which one do you think? For
men?
No, women.
Oh, okay.
I think we all know Charlie is the tops.
It's the only one's personality I really know here is Morgan's. Okay. Yeah, I have Morgan up pretty high right now. Yeah, it's just just judging on looks alone and what kind of a person I think they would be, or like fun to hang out with, and or how they might be in bed. Jordan is up there. Jordan seems fun and like low maintenance. And it's hard. It's hard to just do it off of looks because I know Lauren Chen's like she's got like a serious fun vibe. So I'm not gonna be like, let's mud wrestle, you know? But she is very cute.
Yeah, Lauren, I don't think Lauren would mud wrestle, but I bet she'd do very good color commentary on mud wrestling.
Okay. Yeah. True. Jordan seems like fun and just like not super serious. Maybe Morgan too.
I think Morgan's wound too tight.
You think so? Okay.
Yeah. It kills me to say it. It kills me to say it because I'd probably rank her top, but yeah, I think she's wound too tight. Now, as far as dudes go, I would have to go with scroll up. Yeah, John. John Root's my vibe.
John Root?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. If I had to fuck a guy.
If you had to, it would be this guy.
Yeah.
You guys make a clear baby together.
Yeah. I mean, I've always wanted to know what it feels like to be AOC.
Oh my God. I met Jack Posobiec in person. He's pretty cute. And he also
good looker.
Yeah, he's smart. He's tall. He just like, I don't know. He has an energy about him that I'm like, ooh, like a little intimidated, a little excited.
Okay.
I've never met Charlie. Yeah, he's the only one I've really met. Who in terms of dudes? Maybe Graham Allen. He looks kind of built, but like a little intense because of his haircut.
Yeah.
Drew is so much fun, but again, he might be like a little too serious for me.
Yeah, that's one of the things that like.
Yeah, none of these guys are funny either. That's what's like, ugh. None of these guys are like. Yeah. Would make a fun racist joke. So like, ugh. I don't want
one of the other ones I like that's not a turning point chick, but she's a very conservative or on the conservative side is Samantha Mason, but she goes by Samantha America.
Oh, okay. Oh, I think I follow her.
Yeah, she's like mixed, super tall, black chick. Totally my vibe.
Awesome. Yeah.
Like you just go awesome. Like I'm picking them out of a lineup. I'll take this one and the black ones for breeding and making the people.
Denny is a Reddit mod 100%.
I don't know what that means.
I don't know either, but it's funny.
Like a mod of like a Reddit, I don't even know how Reddit works because it's like I've been on it a few times on the front page. Generally, when I'm talking about abortion or stuff, they'll put me on. I was on the front page of Reddit. I was getting calls from people I hadn't talked to in 10 years. Like, you're on the fucking front page of Reddit. Oh, and I was like, why? And they were like, because people are saying you're an incel because you hate abortions. And I was like, well, half of that's true.
I just realized I have another interview and I'm like 8 minutes late for it.
Oh, oops. Great.
Well, shit. All right.
I have to go do my sports show anyway.
Thanks,
so
Josh. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Love you guys. Bye.